Hey there, I'm Art from Revo North America. Today I thought we would try showing you how to use the Revo Sprite turntable in conjunction with Dragonframe to actually spin an object and to just use it in Dragonframe and see how the interface works. We have a need to spin our own Continental turntable today, so I thought it would be a good way to show that off too. So we're going to start by assuming you've already calibrated the sprite, you kind of know what's going on there, and you know how to start and open up Dragonframe. You've watched another tutorial on that and you're familiar with that. So from there, we're going to kind of get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty, not too much, but just kind of show you a few things that are a few little tricks so that you can do this pretty quickly. When we go to do this here in our studio, we typically open up Dragonframe and get the whole thing going in like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. So you understand you can get this going really quickly on your own. But the first time around is always a little bit tricky and you got to figure it out. So this is a way to help you figure it out. The first thing we're going to do is go onto the screen and you can see how we need to program the sprite. So first of all, what we do is you can see we've already programmed in two keyframes. The first keyframe, you can just double click on a line, that's keyframe 1, and that'll always just start at 0 and keyframe 1, there you go. And then we're going to go, we're going to do a little shorter video this time. We're not going to do 108 frames, we're going to do, let's say 36 frames, okay? And in those 36 frames, we'll key it in and we've got 360 degrees. We'll type that in again so you can see how that works. And just click off that. And now you've created two keyframes just by clicking in on this section here. You can also keyframe over here. There's a bunch of ways to keyframe in Dragonframe. This is the way we like to do it. So now that we've got our keyframes set, you can see that we've already preset it to the straight line here, which means that it's not going to ramp up and ramp down for the spin. It's just going to go straight, the same speed each time. If you would click over here, there's different kinds of curves. A Bezier curve, it kind of ramps in and ramps out, which can be really nice. But in this case, we're just going to go a straight line. That straight line is represented right here, and you can see how that looks. Boom. The straight line, no acceleration or deceleration for each thing. It's just straight up, point to point to point to point to point. That is how we get started with actually programming our in and out point for this particular move. Okay, so this is a move like a stop motion animation move, right? So it's no different than that. It happens to be showing you how to spin this thing for e-commerce, but really it's Dragonframe and it's stop motion. It could be live action video too, which is a way we can show you in another thing. We use it all the time, live action. In this case, we're going to show you how to spin something with a stop motion interval. We're actually going to use a time lapse to get that done. It's a good trick. So first thing you notice, or maybe not the first thing, but one of the things you're going to notice is that we also should always look at our speeds in our setup and understand that the turntable is set to the proper kind of fastest speed we're going to want to go. In this case, we've set it to 1500, which is when you click on this, you can see, double click on there, and you can see we've got 1500 steps per second. That translates to a lot of things, but really it's just a speed. The standard intro speed for our Sprite turntable. The Sprite can go up and down from there quite a bit, but 1500 is kind of a good place to start. And if you increase that, it increases the speed of the Sprite, and if you decrease it, it will decrease the speed of the Sprite, or the Continental, or whatever turntable you choose, right? Whatever motion control device you choose. The trick with that is you always want to be careful about going too fast. We don't really have a throttle on our machines because sometimes you want to go fast, and we don't want to restrict anybody. But you got to be careful you don't set it at 30,000 or something right away, and then when you kind of forget about it, then you press the home button, which you'll see in a minute. And if you're not careful and you're not thinking, it could go kind of too quickly back to home. So if you have something heavy on it, like a turntable, you might go a little too fast and shake it off there, or move it where you don't want to. So I happen to know that 1500 beats is steps per second is a pretty good speed for this, and it's the speed indeed that we recommend to start using the Sprite with. So we're going to leave it all there, and there it is. You can see that. We're just going to click on that. The frame speed is, we'll say 1/8 speed, and that just means the fastest that you'll be able to move this thing when you're toggling back and forth using these arrows here, right? The max speed with the DMC only, that actually works with our transmogrifier as well. And again, we set that to the same speed here, and that's for live action stuff. And we're gonna hit OK. So now we're all programmed and ready to go, but you're also gonna realize that we can't just shoot this like it is, because there's a turntable underneath our turntable, and we'd be staring right at it, right? So what we want to do is we've made a little mask out of white foam, and we'll just stick it underneath there, and it keys it out really well. So we just put it in here and click it underneath there, wrap it around, and voila, that thing is set. You can see how that works. So now that we've got that wrapped around there, you'll also notice that you can't see any of the cables going to the Sprite. That's because they go straight back and they go into a trough that we kind of have set up with our seamless. But you know, you could put some white tape over that, a piece of foam core, some more of that white foam, whatever. But it just makes it easier for post later on, so you're not wrestling with trying to paint that thing out in Photoshop and that kind of thing. It makes it really easy to do something like this just up against the white background. Things are pretty forgiving these days, and so you can get away with a lot. And this is a quick trick to get away with a lot. Let's go to our turntable, and we'll notice that we need to set the initial spot. And so I'm not really happy with the way this thing is centered. I want to move it a little bit, and so I'm going to inch it over, and you can see that there's these two arrows here. This is the big arrow, makes it go big and fast, and the little arrow makes it go slowly, okay? This slide right here is how fast the little arrows will go. So if you crank it all the way up, the little arrows will move less slowly. You put it in the middle, they'll move medium slowly, and down at the bottom, they'll move really slowly. So right now, we're just going to show a medium slowly, and we're going to kind of move that over a little bit. And I'm looking at these bolts on the edge here and how far away they are from each edge. And I'm thinking that looks pretty close to the way I want it to be. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to set my 0 there, and that will also set the home. So that way you don't have to set them both at the same time. You can set them both at the same time, and you don't have to set them individually. Then you can always, so now I know where my 0 point is, my first frame, and then we know that 36 frames will go 1 full rotation, okay? In Dragonframe, you can go up to the, we've got a Canon R camera set up here, and the Canon R is a great camera, but you can use just about any camera that exists for the last 20 years with Dragonframe, and I'm not kidding, it's really remarkable. And so you can go into the photo space in Dragonframe and just make sure everything's set up properly, make sure you've gotten that far and that your focus is good, because you always want to make sure you check your focus before you start to shoot. So you come up here onto the screen and you click on the camera area, okay? So now we are in the, we're looking straight at our turntable now, and if I want to check my focus, I can just go here and zoom in. and see, okay, how focused is that? That's pretty good, but that's not really, it's not great. And so I'm going to make sure I fix that before we start. Okay, so the way you can fix that within Dragonframe is by going here to focus, and you can kind of go back and forth. Oh, I got too much the wrong way, right? Oh, too much there. So now let's just kind of click in there, and we're going to get it to, oh, we've gone a little too far there. I think, is that looking pretty good? It's looking good, but not great. Let's take a test shot and see what we got. Boom. There's our test shot. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, so, but we do have a lot of dust on there. So we can come along here, and we have a nice little dust cloth as well. And so you can just go here, blow some stuff off, and see what we got. Take another test shot. Here we go, that's a bit better. A great thing with Dragonframe is that you have this test shot area. You can see these show up down here, and you can see all your camera settings are here. So you can adjust all this stuff from within Dragonframe. You can check and see if you've got white in the background, what you want. You can set up a grid on there. Click that on and off, broadcast safe, all those things, right? Dragonframe is a really, really rich and deep program, and there are so many features. What we should do is really just kind of make short videos, as many as we can, to show you the different features of Dragonframe. That would be a full-time job, but each time we do one of these, at least you'll get a little bit more of an understanding of things. And I think that as you use it, the great thing about Dragonframe is you can use it like a caveman, or you can use it like a scalpel, and it just constantly rewards you with more stuff to use. Okay, so now I'm happy with that focus. We're going to go and we're going to say, well, let's go back into our space there, and again, I clicked off the camera and onto the arc motion control gear, okay? And so that's where we can control a turntable from. And so now that I know it's all centered, I'm at home. This exclamation point, you might know from another tutorial, this is for live action. So what that's saying is that if you've gone, if you're going to 36 frames in this short a period of time, it's a second and a half, because the thing is set up for 24 frames a second. So for stop motion, that's great. If you're doing it for live action, it wouldn't make it there that fast. A second and a half is a really fast rotation, and it's warning you that it can't do it. And so, but for stop motion, it's no problem at all, because you're just going incrementally, and but that's what that arrow is for. So don't be alarmed by the big exclamation point. That's for if you're shooting video. You'll get the hang of that as you kind of move along, but just it's a good thing to see that warning there, and it's a good thing to know what it is. So now we're going to just start our capture, okay? So in order to capture these images, we go up here, we go to time lapse. You can see we leave it all at 0. We're not shooting a sunrise or a sunset. We don't need a delay. And we're going to type in 36 frames, because we're doing a 36 frame e-commerce spin, and it's a 36 frame stop motion. So it's a second and a half at 24 frames a second. Put everything back to where it's supposed to be. Yes, they already are, but that's just kind of letting you know. You want to try it again, and we're already shooting. So you notice how that thing's moving each frame. Okay, I want to step in here in the middle of all this to let you know that Dragonframe has this shutter sound, and so it makes the camera shutter sound for you, and it also gives you a beep. So you can turn all that off. We like to leave it on in general because it's a good thing to be aware that this is actually going on. It's amazing what you can do in your studio and forget you're doing what you're trying to do. And so it's a nice reminder that you're actually shooting, and it lets you know if something goes amok for some reason and it stops making that noise. Also, when it stops making that sound, you can generally be assured that it's going to be the end of your move, and for a stop motion move at least, and you can go and see the fruits of your labor. Okay, so now we've done one full rotation, and we can show you kind of the next step, which would be just how to get it out of Dragonframe. There are a bunch of ways to get things imported, exported into and out of Dragonframe. There's some really simple tricks, though, that make things a little bit easier. The easiest way to go about things is you can go to File, and you can say export your image sequence. Now this will take your X1 exposures, right? So your highest quality exposures that you've taken, we've taken them in high resolution JPEGs, and you can export those to wherever you're trying to export. Okay, so what destination do I want to put it in? So this is where we're going to say, okay, we have that destination. Maybe we want to make a new destination. So let's go to the desktop, and let's just say, okay, let's go to a new folder, and let's say Revo Continental Spin 1. Create. And so there we go. And we can just say choose. And so now you know where this set of all of the images you just took goes. And export. There it is. All of the images that we just took. You can just click on those. There they are. Perfect. Okay. So now we can also do something, go back into Dragonframe, and we can say, hey, I want to export a movie of that to see how my move was, how my spin was, did I get what I needed to get? So you can just go here and hit export movie and hit export. Okay, and we're going to go, once again, we'll go to that desktop, and it will open up, when you click the button, it will open up directly in front of you. You don't have to worry about finding it. So you hit OK, and there it is. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Boom, that looks pretty good. So there is my 36 frame spin of the Revo Continental turntable. That simple. You can always go and into post, which of course we're probably all going to do, right? And work on them. We like to use Lightroom. It's a really great way to post these images. We work really hard to make them as clean as possible from the get-go. But you can always go into Lightroom and touch things up, and they have a really great batch export. It's a great way to do these kinds of e-commerce spin stuff. But you know, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Blackmagic, there's so many ways to import and export the footage that you've just gotten, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Hopefully this helped you out. It's a good way to kind of at least begin to wrap your head around things a bit and ways to use things. I want to point out that our Sprite can hold over 100 pounds, and our Revo Continental turntable can hold over 400 pounds. We'll try to keep it at 400 pounds. So the Sprite was nowhere near capacity here in handling the Revo Continental turntable. Also, a few little tricks we had. We put a little bit of tape on top of the Sprite platter, and that tape keeps the Continental from sliding off when it's making those moves. So otherwise it's a glossy surface. It can kind of slide around a little bit. So, you know, pay attention to that kind of stuff. It'll save you a lot of time going back and fixing things that you thought you had perfect. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this helped you out. It's a little bit longer this time, but hopefully it helped you out. Okay, thanks, bye-bye.